Welcome to Bendigo. I found my way to the Poppet Head Lookout here in Bendigo, and it is a rather beautiful evening. Bit of a warm evening as I'm looking down on this historic city, a former gold mining town here, about 2 hours north of the city of Melbourne. Melbourne. Oh, I struggle with that name. I'll get it by the end of this trip. But you're looking down at the city of Bendigo, Australia, and I'm going to go and do a walk and talk here. And the Poppet Head Lookout, it's quite a platform and a structure itself that I find myself standing on. And if I turn around over here, you can see there's a rather large sport field right over there. And then just off to the right, there's a rather large swimming pool. So it is as far as first impressions go, it really is a nice town. And I just happened to stumble across this on my travels. So I want to take you for a walk and talk through the town before the sun gets down and I check into my hotel. So let's go check out Bendigo. This will give you a great view of the Poppet Head Lookout from the bottom, an interesting perspective as I found my way back down. And if I slowly pan down, you'll get a good idea as to how tall it is. And surrounding the Poppet Head Lookout, there is a mosaic all around the ground, and there's some information about the mosaic, but I will share a little bit of it with you. You can see they've got some beautiful stonework in here, or mosaic work if you want to call it that. And then come over here. I could have shared this with you from the top. Might have been a little bit nicer to look at, but regardless, you can still see it. And all the little stones, if you look closely, the individual tiles have various patterns and what have you. All right, so let's go and start the walk and talk of this town. And this is telling me the Poppet Legs of the Garden Gully United Gold Mining Co. This mine produced 444,336 ounces of gold and paid over 1 million in dividends. So apparently this was the site of a mine, or so I would seem to believe, that this was actually the site of a mine back in the day. Isn't that something? All right, so on with the tour. And we're going to find our way down to the garden before heading into the city of Bendigo itself. From the looks of it, I would assume that this is probably a school. And I say that because it's got the basketball court. But look at that building there. As you can see, it's going on 6 o'clock. I bet I'd probably get a pretty good view from that tower up there as well. All right, as you can see, I'm not the only one that's enjoying a beautiful autumn evening. At first I thought that these were ducks, but I could be mistaken. I guess they're ducks, or maybe not. Maybe somebody out there like Lisa Lizarraga can tell me. But they sure are beautiful. Here is a nice view looking down on a gazebo there, and some folks enjoying a beautiful evening out for a walk. And if I pan up, you can see the beautiful trees that are here in the park. Erected by Francis James Every as a tribute to all good mothers, of whom my wife, Emma Jane Every, and my mother-in-law, Mary E. Every, were shining examples. 1953. And this is it's just a beautiful, almost like a rainforest, if you will. Look at this. So for all the good mothers out there, look at this. Boy, what a nice little treat. There's no shortage of birds. I hear all types of birds here. Look at this. Isn't this special? Wow. Wonderful. You see, every town has its surprises. This being no exception here in Bendigo. Very nice. Well, I want to find my way out to the street before it gets too late into the evening. Just wonderful. Here's an interesting view as I come out of the garden. It seems to be a canal, an empty canal at that, but a canal nonetheless. And just up to the other side of the canal is this. Boy, look at this beautiful garden here. Wow. Let's go take a walk through this. I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden. Along with the sunshine, there's got to be a little rain sometime. Look at that bird right there. Boy, what a beautiful place. What a beautiful rose garden. Reminds me of a lovely lady in New Zealand called Fenella, who I stayed with some years ago. And she had a gorgeous rose garden. Boy, I wasn't expecting as much from Bendigo, but it really is a special place. Look at this. Look at the colors. Just gorgeous. And here you have a greenhouse of sorts. Wonderful. Fantastic. All right. Find our way out. At some point in time, I got to get to the city. Here's a beautiful sculpture that was presented to the citizens of Bendigo by Mayor Harkness in 1899. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? 1899, over 100 years ago. Fantastic. As you can see, I found my way out of the garden, and I I'm going to walk down the main street, and in doing so I'll try to share with you some of the buildings here. You see a lot of wrought iron railings in the land down under. And there is a building right across the street with those railings. So this is the one of the main streets, a rather busy street, called Pall Mall. And I'm gonna find my way down and share with you some of the buildings as I walk. Here's that same building, just a little closer for you. Look at that. I don't know that the building is occupied. It may be, but regardless, it's kind of interesting to look at the facade of this building. I found my way up, just up the street, and as doing so, I just happened to stumble across this little passageway, and it looks like a great place to do a walk and talk. Look at this. Wow. This is just one of those things that you would just walk right past without even thinking to look down, and in doing so, boy, what a nice thing to be able to share. Somebody's clothes are hanging out, and there's a barber, which I certainly could use, and maybe I'll visit tomorrow. Royal Gyms, established 1930. Men's haircut, $27. Boy, what an interesting place for sure. So we will just keep walking up and come out the other side. And it looks like in here they've got some murals, and I probably should slow down a little bit and let you look at those. Actually, the camera picks them up quite well. And look at this. There you go. Looney Tunes, that's all, folks. That's something. Wonderful. That looks like Amy Winehouse, for sure. They tried to make me go to rehab, and she said no, no, no. Rest her soul. All right. So we'll come out on the other side. What a nice little stumbling upon this hallway here, or alley. I found my way back out to the main street where I started, and thought I'd share this building with you, which is where the visitor center is located. Look at that. I would imagine that all of these buildings are at least 100 years old. Isn't that beautiful? If you turn around, there's various monuments, such as this one. And this monument here is Bendigo's tribute to the memory of the Australian soldiers who in the South African War of 1899 and 1902 gave their lives for Queen and Empire. There you have it. For Queen and Empire. Right there. There's your photograph. And over here there's another looks like to George Lancel in the development of Bendigo's gold resources. This memorial was erected by the citizens of Bendigo. He was born in 1823 and died in 1906. And up here you have yet another building, lest we forget. This is the Soldiers Memorial Institute that you see right here in Bendigo. Look at that. Just like we Americans value the sacrifices that our men and women made for the love of the country, so too the Aussies are no different. Okay, and that's the walk and talk down one of the main streets, I should say. I'm sure there are some other sights and sounds and discoveries that I could share with you, but as the night is getting on and I've got a hotel to check into, I thought this would probably be as good as any spot to begin wrapping up the tour of Bendigo as you look at Sir John Quick, 1852 to 1932. And I would imagine that this is probably the Queen, Victoria, Queen of Earthly Queens, 1837 to 1901, erected by the citizens of Bendigo. Long live the Queen. No, it doesn't say that, but I said that. Let's see if we can't get a nice shot of Queen Victoria up against the evening sky there. There she is. All right. And I believe that this is one of the main intersections here in Bendigo. You can see the fountain there, and that was a landmark that was referenced to me in coming down to do this walk and talk with you. So, hope you enjoyed this tour of Bendigo, and if you're coming here, it'll give you a good idea as to the special place that you'll find upon doing so. So have a great evening.